Defense mechanisms are an important concept to understand from a psychodynamic psychotherapy perspective. Hi, my name is Eric Hammer, registered psychotherapist, and my purpose and passion is helping men who are struggling in their romantic relationships gain greater awareness and insight in order to create the happy, healthy relationships they're desiring. Today, again, I want to talk further about this idea and concept around defense mechanisms. And essentially, what these are, it's ways that the mind has created in order to suppress and to avoid painful emotions that patients might have experienced in their earlier childhood or have come up for them previously. And it's a way, again, an unconscious way for us to protect ourselves emotionally from these painful emotions and feelings. And so this can look like all sorts of different ways in terms of, again, not owning the feeling, so to speak. And so, for example, this might look like a projection onto somebody else. So, for example, if I'm feeling insecure or if I'm feeling sad or angry, instead of really owning that experience, instead of kind of being aware of, these are my feelings, well, I can project that onto somebody else and kind of point the finger and say, hey, you know what? You're the one who is angry, or you're the one who's experienced these feelings. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm projecting my own experience onto somebody else. Another example of a defense mechanism might look like some form of intellectualization or rationalization. So again, instead of really owning the emotional experience, instead of, for example, having a feeling of maybe sadness or anger or shame, well, I can sort of clear that, avoid that experience simply by rationalizing away that I should or shouldn't, be a certain way, or come from a place of intellectualization that, you know what, it doesn't make sense for me right now to feel this way, or looking at it from the standpoint of logic, right? That again, um, why am I experiencing this if everything else is going so well for me? It doesn't make sense at all for me to have these specific feelings. So again, there's all sorts of different strategies, defense mechanisms, and again, essentially, these are ways that, from an unconscious perspective, individuals learn in order to cope with painful emotions, and again, to try to actually, in again, an unconscious way, protect ourselves from re-experiencing these specific emotions. And so, again, from a psychodynamic psychotherapy perspective, it's going to be really important in order to help the patient to become aware, right, of these defense mechanisms, or to, again, bring these defense mechanisms to light in order for the patient to really become aware of their own emotional lives and how, again, these emotional experiences, how they might be, again, from an unconscious perspective, creating problems or creating, again, strategies to avoid for the patient. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you are a man who's, again, struggling in his romantic relationships and requires, again, somebody to help with that journey of self-discovery, feel free to reach out. I do have my contact information below. And please check with a psychotherapist to make sure that this or any other information is appropriate for you. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.